Oh, Nick, who's that person that jumped that you're all raging about in the admin chat?
Yankee.
It was the Yankee DM.
Yeah, Yankee DM just jumped ship. So,
excellent.
Yeah. Well, recruitment now for the rest of Oscar Group, so that's a bi-weekly. So hopefully we'll fill that space. So we'll get someone, hopefully, with a bit of luck. Okay, right. Where's my notes? Summer, could you give me a quick, brief rundown of last session, please?
Well, we kind of figured out a way of how Summer and Lana can actually fall asleep without getting almost killed.
Okay.
Oh my! I did rape a class member with my fist quite intensely. Poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sold was it a necklace?
Yep.
And gave the money to that woman, and we all got some real not so accurate names. None of the generous. I mean.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the most brief that we can be over last session. Some things went on. But, yeah, so feeling the proud warmth of achieving a few of your given goals, being proud wasn't the only feeling that you have as your stomachs begin to gargle with the prospect of a meal being around the corner. So from here on, your travels from the Underwalk would lead you to your next destination. Where would you like to go, given the information that it's late in the day and it's probably about dinner time?
I think we go out and celebrate.
Nando's.
Essentially, yeah. That's like we go to a non-shit. Well, like we don't eat at the tavern we're staying at. Is my idea.
The newly opened Fernando's.
Sells all kind of weird bird. Rumor has it you can eat rock.
Axbeak.
Has it been since we found out about the revolt thing?
Yeah, it's been probably now coming up to day 7, maybe thereabouts.
Oh boy, they said it was going to be in a week, right?
Yeah. And then hurry the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I kind of want to find that guard, the one who we've been bantering with, shall we say, and like ask if we can help. I've got an investment in the city now. Now we've got my first title has come from it. I feel obligated to help the people of the city.
That's one of us.
Well, our next best idea is run away. So
Which I'm all here for.
But if we run away, then all the good stuff we've done would mean absolutely fuck all.
Exactly. Plus, so we've established some very good trade links in the city, right? We can call favors on some very influential people, namely the magic shop and the very powerful wizard who we helped find a boyfriend. And I think abandoning that from a logistical perspective is not a great idea. But I do have something I want to do in the meantime, just like a flavour thing. Since it's late in the evening, will there be any tattoo shops open?
There may be, as some of that particular industry or skill set usually does work a little later in the day than some of the other trades that goes on. There most certainly would be somewhere like that, perhaps in the market ward.
Okay. Well, if we see one, if we happen to be in the market ward, just I'll probably forget to ask. But if you remember and we walk past one, then give me a shout because I want to get a tattoo, or technically multiple tattoos. But
so you're currently in. Let me move you to the Western map. You're currently in the Opal ward in terms of your demographic placement, just by where the entrance to the Underwalk is. So you'd be in the Opal ward. So you are closer to the residential ward and the market ward. You're kind of in the breaker point. So you could either head to the market ward in hope to find an open establishment that's happy to carry out some tattooing work on you, or you can head straight to the resident ward where you can find your abode that has been your most common place of residence, the Sunkist Tavern.
I think we're slightly more pressing matters at the moment than to have the tattoo done. But I'm just like, for future reference, I'm looking. But where was that tavern that we saw some shady business going on?
Some things that were getting thrown out of, you mean?
Yeah, guy getting thrown out, and then
yeah. Give me a sec. Tell you where it was. I believe it was the Grazed Knee.
Grazed Knee. And is that in the market ward?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Right, well, I've got a plan that might get everything done in one go. If we go out and celebrate, go on a quote-unquote pub crawl, and we've typically been coming back through the market ward gates, haven't we?
No, you've been coming through the main entrance gate, which is... Hold on. Which is this gate here.
Okay.
To the road towards Get Shadow, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And that gate has been that's where we've seen that wanker
the
guard.
altercation. Yeah.
Okay.
That one guard that seems to be positioned there or stationed there majority of the time.
Okay, right. Well, I say we eat first. Up to everyone else where we do it.
Hello?
Hey.
What's the plan, guys?
Get some food.
Yeah.
It is.
So you head back to the Sunkish Tavern?
I think we eat in the market ward near the Grazed Knee.
Okay.
maybe not like over the road, but near enough that if anything were to begin watching out and into the streets, then we could see it before it was the other side of the city.
Sure, no worries. So, okay. So it takes you a good part of about 20 to 30 minutes to get to the market ward. But upon doing so, you do come across that same building, and at the front of the building, not around the side where you saw the shady individual getting thrown out of, at the front of the building you see the sign for the grazed knee. And as you enter, it's very dark lit. It's quite busy. Most of the people there, as you look around, either have thick, heavy scars or really scraggy, quite dirty looking, very, very shady. Every single patron looks like they're ready to either shoot you or steal something from you or start a fight with you.
Watching her pockets.
Okay, good to know. As you approach the bar, you see a large red and green scaled female dragonborn.
I'm turning around and goes. Well, I go. I'm not. I don't want to go in.
Your audio is breaking up there. I missed some of that.
Second, let me. Well, I'm doing up my. I thought it'd be better. I'll move over. As if by magic.
Ooh. Okay. So, sorry, do you want to start again there? Greeted with the female dragonborn.
Jack immediately spins on his heel and turns around.
Okay.
I don't want to go in, first of all, but very much so don't want to go in with a green dragonborn on the door.
Okay. The rest of you, what are you doing?
Following Jirak.
I say we find like.
Near that.
I say that we do the next. What's it called? The next street over, basically.
The next street over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Find the Nando's.
Okay. It doesn't seem that many of the other like establishments or restaurants and stuff are currently. You do see that they're in business there, but as you look in, you can see through like the large portions of windows. Doesn't seem to be very many tables open. It looks like this is one of their busier days of trade.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still enter a building if you like.
I say we just like sort of go around in circles, and the first empty table we see, we pounce on it. Just like circling the block.
Sure,
definitely not walking in front of the tavern like 5 times, because that's incredibly sketchy. But wandering about,
Okay.
maybe stumbling a little bit to make it look like we're drunk.
You still staying nearby though, or are you happy to travel around a bit?
I ideally don't want to go like further than like 5 minutes walk away from the grazed knee.
Sure. I mean, it takes you kind of do with the little radius that you're covering, you do repeat yourself in a little bit in terms of like the circuit that you take around the market ward, but perhaps the third time round there is a singular table in like this restaurant that you can see from the outside in, like candlelit tables, and there are like 3 or maybe 4 people around each table. There is 2 tables like spare now, but there are 2 like fiery red head gnomes that are kind of, you see zipping around on the inside of this restaurant.
Well, open table. I walk. How far away are we from the Grey's Knee?
You can see the corner of the building, but not enough to see like the door. But you can see like the brickwork of the building, like portion.
But if like 50 people were to come out the front of the building and start walking away, we would be able to see them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. That's minimum requirement.
Okay. So as you enter the restaurant, you are greeted with this like male gnome, brilliant fiery red hair, just a complete shambles, but wearing a very fine, elegant looking like teal suit with like a teal dicky bow and like tails at the back, cuffs turned over, and he's like, hello, how can I help?
Table for 4, please.
Certainly. Do you have a reservation?
I can do, and I like jingle my pockets a little bit.
Certainly.
We're celebrating, you understand.
Oh, wonderful. And he kind of beckons you over to a table. He kind of like clicks his finger, and a flame like appears on his thumb, and he lights the candles on the table, and then blows out his flame on his thumb. Please take a seat. Can I start by taking any drinks?
I shall have an ale. Actually, no. A dwarven firewater. We're celebrating. Got to splash the big bucks.
Firewater all round, is it?
Oh no, a mead for me, please.
Well, if Durex paying, I won't say no.
Okay, yeah. Whatever they want. Clarence was a flat Coke Zero.
He kind of places like a piece of parchment card, very thin, narrow, and there is a small selection of like meals that seem to be on there, and you see the standardized stuff that you would normally see in a restaurant. So you see that there is a homemade pie, there is like a large 12-ounce steak, mixed grill, there is like pasta dishes, and so on and so forth. Each meal ranges from 50 silver to a gold coin.
Wait, do you mean 5 silver?
No, 50 silver.
So it's 5 gold to.
Sorry,
to 10 to
sorry,
1
sorry, my calculation on that's gone wrong.
I was going to say that's just a very convoluted way of saying it's like, oh yes, 500 pence. £5.
Hold on. Is it? Why have I not got that loaded? So, yes, 50 silver. 5 gold. Yeah, sorry, 5 gold. So it's 50 silver to 10 gold coin.
Yikes.
The drinks. range from 30 copper to 5 silver. 5 silver being your dwarven fire.
Okay. Yikes.
So
I pay what is needed, but I do imply to everyone that we don't get the most expensive meal as possible. Like, we're not having lobster tail.
It's not like the most classiest of establishments, but it's probably one of the cleanest that you've seen in a while. After a few moments, the gnome returns, places the ales on the table and your drinks order. It's like, and are you ready to order your food?
I certainly am.
I'm just going to get like the cheapest thing that has meat in it.
Just the cheapest thing on the menu.
Yeah, agreed.
So the meat pie then.
Thumbs up.
Rack. He didn't say what the meat was.
Is the meat something would you be ashamed to tell me what that meat is?
Unfortunately, I would have to confer with the chef. There are several of the meat pies, each represent different meats.
Are any of them shady?
I'm not following. Sorry.
We have been to a horrible establishment, you may have heard of it, Sunkiss Tavern, where we heard rumours that they would perhaps be serving rat.
Oh, no, certainly not rat, sir.
That's good to hear. As long as it's, not rat, essentially. Nothing diseased. We should be good.
I'm sure you'll be fine, sir. You seem like you have a fantastic constitution.
But of course.
And
it's not me I'm worried about. And I pat Clarence on the head.
He kind of nods at everyone and then just scarpers off. And you can hear a ding off in the distance, and you see another gnome female, almost identical to him, but wearing obviously different attire, a frilly lace dress with the same teal in colour, and they each go around serving the tables as you wait for your food. A little while passes, and you hear again the same ding of the bell, and the gentleman comes back to your tables and lays out the pies, and they're quite grand pies for the 50 silver that you would be paying for these. They are grand big pies, and on the top of each one there is 4 of these pies, and each one has different pastry carving on the top that's been placed in the baking center. And one is of a badger, one is of a bear, one is of a stag, and one is of a rabbit.
Oh dear. I'll have whatever one's left.
I'd Lana have the rabbit if that's okay.
Okay, Clarence, look, this one's got a bear on it.
Oh, my audio keeps messing up.
I don't know if Clarence is trying to talk or not.
I'll have the badger one because I have a feeling that's going to be the least wanted.
I'll have any of them.
Lana'd like the rabbit if that's okay.
Sure.
I think Clarence has the bear. It's only fair. He is a fan of the little creatures.
So these pies, this meal is prepared with all the trimmings: broccoli, potatoes, carrots, gravy, so on.
Lovely. Well, as we eat, I think we should strategize because we're running out of time for the whole class business, and I do want to at least try something. If we walk in and nearly die, then yeah, sure, run away. But I don't want to run away without giving him a fight first.
Brilliant.
So, how do you fancy doing this? Because we're already known to both the clasp and the guards. Clasp. And I'm not too enthused about the idea of just walking straight into that tavern.
Maybe not that. None of us are exactly the most inconspicuous of people. I mean, it's not every day you see equivalents to a 3-year-old boy with a metal book over his shoulder. But I think step number 1 is find someone who can help us. Oh yeah, he's got a point. Yeah, he has that one person that he was talking about, like getting a like an apprenticeship with.
Oh, Fetch. Yeah.
That's the one. The Spiling Fetch here. But I think we should also chat with that guard we've been encountering, and just all like sense of, you know, sneakiness out the window and say, look, we know you work for the Margrave and you are you work for the clasp, but you're a double agent for the Margrave. We want to get rid of the clasp. Is there anything we can do? Do you need muscle? Do you need someone to walk in and tell them to fuck off? You know, at least make ourselves known to be enemies of the clasp.
Yeah, probably a good shout. Unless we want to split in two and do like things and get Clarence into the clasp.
I don't know if splitting the party is the best idea.
Fair.
And if Clarence can get in, then that means he's going in there by himself, which
Can
might
turn into
not.
something and stay with him. But then I'm not that great in a fight.
If you could turn into like, can you turn other people into creatures as well?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
I could turn you invisible.
How long does that last?
Up to 1 hour.
That's all right. And how long can you wild shape for, Lana?
It's half. What level are we now? 3? 6. So 3 hours.
Okay, right. Well, I mean, that's an idea. We could. That's 2 people we could get in with Clarence, provided that you have room to maneuver. If you would like to turn into a spider or something and hide in his collar.
I like spiders. I could definitely do mouse though.
That's not a bad idea. There's.
And then I can hide somewhere and change back and back again as well if we need to 6 hours fully.
Again, not a very bad idea. You don't have polymorph, do you?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Right, so if let's say that's you. Yeah, I think best idea would be you 3 go in, sneaky, because I'm too big, and I also have a lion with me, which I don't think we could blag that.
While you're having this conversation and still eating, could you do a perception check for me each, please?
Oh dear.
Nice.
Summer, you do, as you're eating, you kind of notice that there's been a male and a female sat on the far table looking. They keep frequently looking over, and as you take like a look, and they kind of spot you, and like they kind of look down at the table, whisper, and they're just like put some coin on the plate on the table and stand up and go to leave.
Hmm.
Do you reckon class or just racist?
Are they walking past our table?
Yeah, they're walking past your table.
I'm gonna try and trip them up. Like hold my foot out.
Let's do a I know it's not your hands for save, but let's do a sleight of hand.
Huh?
Sleight of hand. I know it's your feet, but
Sleight of hand?
it's
Yeah.
a skill set I can kind of think that you're sneakily trying to. Okay. As that was relatively high. Oh yeah. So one of them does kind of stumble, and there's like a bit of a frantic like collection of their belongings kind of stand up and just like rush, and one of them's holding around the waist of the other, and like they're clearly a couple, and they're like oh, oh, and kind of just like hush themselves out the door.
Deserve it.
Take one of their hands as they go.
Sorry.
Do we catch one of their hands to see if they've got a tattoo on?
Do an investigation check for me quickly.
Investigation.
Hands seem clean. No marks, no tattoos.
Okay.
Probably just racist then.
Yeah. I mean, the reaction, they seem cowardly rather than.
Yeah.
So.
The gnome does come back over. It's like, would you like more drinks?
Just a tap water.
Yeah, I'm okay for the time being.
Okay. And kind of rushes off. Moments later,
Right.
comes back with this tap water, and I mean, tap water here isn't the cleanest of waters, but I mean, other places that you've seen serve water, this is cleaner than most, but it's still not great.
That's why everyone drank ale in the olden days, because it was.
I forgot about that.
It had been boiled, so there wasn't any shit in it. I think if we are going to go in, or if we were requested to go in, more specifically, then I think we go to our matey at the main gate and see if he can't, give us an in, maybe, or tell us a time, or as those people walk out, can I look out the window and see what direction they go?
You just, as you look as they leave at that particular time, they would have gone round a corner of a building, not the tavern, but they would have disappeared around the corner.
Okay, they were walking past it, basically.
Yeah. Well, they would have gone a different direction.
Oh, right, perfect.
Okay. So, you finish off your meal and your drinks, and you do sit there for a little while longer, and you contemplate your next moves. You do see flickers of light passing, flickers of shadows passing light on the outside of the building, and you see probably shadows of about maybe 8 individuals, and then before too long you can hear the footsteps like of a marching group, and across the front of the building you see a few city guard pass, and they enter the establishment you're currently in. Oh, hello.
Do we recognise any of them?
They're most certainly shield guard, and the owner, the gentleman that's been serving you, approaches them, and they kind of whisper down, and you see him nod, and hold on one moment, let me try and find my and you see the same 2 individuals that you saw left earlier. You can roll an insight if you want to check the guards. That's absolutely fine. And the two individuals that left the establishment beforehand, they seem legit. They most certainly are guards. Maybe. You see the two individuals that left the establishment before you. They come from behind the guard that's asking the questions, and he says they both point and it's like, that's them. I saw them with my own eyes. They attacked that poor defenseless man in the middle of the market ward. Chased him, beat him, they did. And the guard's like, are you sure those are the ones? And the townfolk individual turns, wouldn't surprise me if they tracked him after and finished him off. And the guard's like, well, okay, the coroners will assess the bodies you found. Well, now, let us do our job. And it kind of pushes him aside, and the guard approaches you. He says, excuse me, is it true you was in the market ward this afternoon?
I would struggle to find someone who wasn't in the market ward this afternoon.
I'm going to have to ask you to come downtown for questioning. And
Why?
a few more guards enter the establishment. You can see them all carrying shackles.
Are you going to tell us why we need to go, or are you just going to take us unknowingly?
Just questioning. There's been an accusation that you've caused an incident. There's been a body found with severe injuries to their rectum, and by all accounts, these two individuals witnessed you attack the individual in broad daylight in the market ward. Now, we'd just like to make sure we can clear you up and remove you from our suspect list.
We're dealing with a pickpocket, nothing more, nothing less. Whatever happened to him afterwards, that was his own fault.
I'm sure we can clear that up back at the station.
We can clear it up right now.
Of course.
I mean, that's the question over. I've given you my account. He looks
back and he kind of nods, and the other guards prepare the shackles.
I keep my hands 2 feet apart so they cannot shackle them one at a time. So they can't link them together.
Okay. So one of them shackles one of your wrists, and then they shackle Goplana's. And then the other will...
Goodbye. Gone.
The other will shackle...
I'm going to keep ducking out of the way so they can't grab me.
Go ahead, make a dexterity check.
Durak says, everyone, you know our plans for later? Looks like we might be doing them now. And I honestly, there's like a hand motion for Lana to turn into a mouse, but I make it like a mouse face, I guess.
Can I turn into a mouse?
Right. No, that's fine. Goplana, you attempt to turn into a mouse, and the sensation and focus that you usually have to use your magical focus, it's not working.
Oh, motherfucker.
And then as you're trying to cast into your wild shape, you hear like a ringing of an object, and one of the individuals steps forward, and he's holding like almost like a lantern, and it's got like this like orange like orb floating in the middle of this lantern. And the guard that's asking you to come with them is like, well, if you're innocent, then you wouldn't have attempted to escape now, would you? Your magical powers won't work here.
I mean, I like being shackled.
If we were innocent, we wouldn't have been shackled in the first place. You're clearly assuming things, and you clearly have no idea what actually happened. You are taking the eyewitness account for, might I, be respectful, but arguably we saw it better than they did. You are not taking our word for it. Your accusation from them is just as good as our word, yet you seem to be biasing yourself towards them. Could it be
Not only
because...
that, you've asked us for an investigation. Investigations don't start with shackles.
They do when we're trying to take you down to the station for questioning, and you're refusing
Ask
to
us
come.
nicely.
What
This is
questions
nice.
are you going to ask us? What questions are you going to ask us?
That will be down to our lieutenant to question you.
Officer, are we being detained or are we free to go?
You are being detained.
Shit, I don't know what to do now.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've managed to avoid whoever's trying to tackle me.
For now, he's
I-
still like juggling, and you can hear him go, "Quit it! Quit it! Quit it! Quit it!"
I want to get an eye on the is it the two gnomes that work here, the two ginger gnomes?
Yep.
I want to get an eye on them. Are they like? Are they like? Obviously, they like complied with the investigation. They allowed them in, etc., etc.
course.
But are they? I want to say aiming for us to get arrested, or are they just
They're just
Have
kind
we-
of stood there surprised that this is happening in their
Have we
establishment.
paid for the meal yet?
Not yet.
No. How much does the meal cost?
There would have been 50, 100, 400, no,
Gold.
sorry, 200 silver pieces.
That's 20 gold.
And then plus your ale, what did I say the ale was? 5 silver, 5, 10, 15, 20, so 220 gold, 220
So
silver.
22 gold.
No,
22
silver.
gold? I pay for the whole thing.
No, don't pay. We'll go.
No. These the people serving us have done us no ill will. The two people who honestly ratted us out, because that actually implies that we did something wrong. I am going to ask the guard what the law is on being pickpocketed, and then subsequently what action you are allowed to take to get your money back.
Okay. Says, of course, if you're not a law enforcer, then the responsibility is to report the crime. If you have witnessed the crime, then you can identify the suspect. Carrying
my
out a vicious
God!
attack in public would be a public order offence, and you
So
would
you're
be...
saying trying to protect your earnings by going after the person who's just stolen them
Do you
is
have proof
big
of this
no-no.
accusation?
Yes, our gold was on him.
Yes.
As
well,
was-
Sorry,
as-
Summer, were you not stabbed earlier in the market ward?
I mean, I'm still injured from where he punched me repeatedly in the face.
He also tried to molest
for
me.
all we know, that's self-defense. I would
tried to touch
highly
me.
recommend that you
Self-defense
refrain.
isn't struck to the face, arms, wrists, shoulders, chest, usually, not in the face.
I would refrain from speaking too much here. If you wish
Oh.
to relinquish yourself from this accusation, leave it for questioning down at the
Officer.
office.
Still in
Lieutenant
shackles?
Merrick Hask
Oh,
will be
I mean, I'll go
asking
down. I'll go
for your
down, but you ain't
statements.
shackling me.
Officer, can I ask what the law is on sodomy?
So, I would like to follow up. What is the law regarding the sexual assault of a minor and the correlation thereof?
He fingered me.
You fuckers.
Not only did he steal our money, but he... And I start crying. Can I roll performance?
How are you to know that this severe rectal damage
Kind
was
of
not
starts dragging you by this point.
accidental
that's
on
why-
his part? I've heard
that's
many
why
a
we did
tale
it.
of adventurous men going a little bit too far, shall we say?
Tried to touch me.
By this point, even the guards have like become silent and are just for you and Goplana like each shackled together. They have managed to somehow calm Kegger enough that they've kind of put on like this muzzle, like leathered strap around her face to prevent biting, and have got like a chain around her like a neck to like help like take her along as well. Are you still attempting to avoid being shackled?
Yep.
Can I roll deception to see whether they believe me about being touched?
Of course.
Which one of my arms is shackled to Lana?
Your right hand.
Okay, so I'm a shield hand. Okay. Just so I know. I imagine that's Lana's left hand then.
The other guards pick up like your belongings, i.e. your bag, any weapons that you're carrying loosely around your your person, they carry, but they are taking you in the direction of the Opal Ward, which you know to be the ward for law enforcement rules.
I'm not moving
and
until
law
they take the
abiding
shackles
citizens.
off.
They're dragging you. There's two of them dragging you. So if you
I have
want, you can
19
attempt
strength.
to.
I would like to resist them dragging me.
Okay.
I'm
Do a
a big
strength,
boy.
save.
Are they just pulling us along by the shackles? Does this mean that I'm being pulled as well?
Have I been shackled?
I'm
If
still
you
resisting.
if you haven't by this point stated that you're refusing to be shackled, you are shackled.
I mean, I am refusing to go anywhere unless they take the shackles off. I'm going to resist until they keep trying, boys. I can make your jobs a lot easier and make your arms a lot less tired. You just need to take this bad boy off.
How many
And-
guards are there?
Subsequently, for my friend.
You've refused with 2, so another 2 come along and help.
No, how many guards in total are there?
There's by this point you can see that there's about 8 guards outside. Inside the premises at this stage.
And is that all there is? There's 8 guards.
That's all you can see.
Okay. Could I take them?
For fuck's sake.
I mean, they look quite birdy, but it's hard to tell. But you're now shackled.
I'm shackled. I mean, that's not going to stop me swinging them all.
Well, it is if you haven't got your maul, as your belongings
my
have
maul?
already been picked up.
No! I would not let them take my maul. That's
Yeah.
my connection to the Night Mistress.
They would have shackled you and then picked up your belongings.
That's my Bible.
I wouldn't touch his Bible.
That's
It's
fine.
very precious.
Have they taken my Bible?
Go ahead and make another strength save for me, Ollie. This time you do have disadvantage because there's 4 of them and you're pretty much being picked off the floor. You're one heavy son
50%
of
of my
bitch.
rolls have been nat 20. I'm not heavy. I'm just digging my heels into the floor, like almost like horizontal. Like I'm not. I can just take it off, dude. I will walk.
Do you promise to come with us? We don't
Mhm.
have to take further action.
I will walk with you to the Opal Ward, provided you remove our shackles. Our shackles.
We can't
won't.
ensure the safety of others with all of you, but you seem to be a bit more stubborn. We can remove your shackles, but your friends remain.
I would argue that the fact
The
We
longer
have
you
not-
argue, the more standing that we have to place a cost against you. Not only are you wasting police time,
you
guard
are
time.
wasting police time. You know what's going to happen when we get to the Opal Ward? You're going to go, oh, that didn't happen, and we're going to be set free. You're going to have ruined our dinner, probably ruined the man who runs this business' reputation.
The
I wouldn't
quicker
even
you get to
begin
the
to
Opal
think-
Ward, the quicker this can be over.
I know. That's why I'm asking you to remove our shackles, and we can get it as fast as possible. I'm telling you, walking's a lot faster than dragging.
You are aware that refusing to come with is a crime in itself.
I'm not refusing to come with you. I'm just not going to help you walk me to the Opal Ward until you remove our shackles.
You can walk by yourself, you'll just be shackled.
I can walk by myself while shackled as well. Who's to say I wouldn't get leg cramp? I've been exercising all day. You know, I'm on the come down. It's bulking season. I don't get nearly enough salt in my diet. It happens all the time.
What if we had information?
Then you would give that to the lieutenant.
Okay, where is he?
By this point, unless you're refusing, half of your group is like Clarence would be now halfway down the street with the other guards that have shackled him.
Tell me, what's the lieutenant's that I will be reporting to's name?
You'll be questioned and asked for your statement by First Lieutenant Merrick Hasp.
Could you scuff on the floor this symbol of what a first lieutenant looks like? I understand you have rankings, you have little insignia you wear on your shoulders.
If you're quick enough, you'll meet him for yourself. We don't have time for this.
Just
Oh, that's
curious.
handsome.
Does it look like this? And I trace the sign, because you said the guy we've been encountering at this gate, he had like some kind of
He did.
higher rank symbol on him. I'm going to trace that symbol out and say, is that what a first lieutenant looks like?
He kind of looks at the symbol and looks at you in a promiscuous way.
Promiscuous?
Oh, chicken.
Not again.
Yes, that is a lieutenant symbol.
Oh, we're fucked.
Is that the guy we were making your mother jokes to?
Oh, that's the guy who's a double agent for the class. Gotcha.
His eyes twitch to that as a remark.
Oh, keep down.
Hit a nerve, did I? Or you just cramping, like my leg will be in a minute.
If we have to get more guards to remove you, we will.
And
Oh,
then
God,
you will be
oh, God.
wasting even more police time. How many of
And
them
you
are
will
there?
be charged.
With what money, Chief? I spent all of it at that restaurant. For the record, I did leave the 22 gold behind and say it was a lovely meal. I'm sorry they had to do this to you.
If you don't have a coin to pay for the wasted time, then you will be charged with labour.
Unfortunately, I believe the law states you cannot charge me with labour as I'm not a registered citizen of Western. I would have to be extradited from my home tribe, and I don't think they'll do that.
You
Because
won't
I am.
be in Western. You'd be
Whose
escorted.
jurisdiction will I be under?
That is for the lieutenant to decide. But if you are charged, you will not be staying in Western.
So not only am I going to be escorted to the Opal Ward by you said there's like 8 of them, right?
Move, cat.
8 guards. So not only am I going to be escorted by 8 guards, you guys probably get paid like a gold a day, maybe. We've been here for like an hour total, I'd imagine, from start to finish. Well, by the time we get there, that's 100 silver pieces. Oh no, 10 silver pieces. And then the process of interviewing us, which I imagine will take quite a while. You see, common isn't my first language, so I will actually, so I'll struggle to get the words out. So that'll take even longer. Bloody hell, yeah, that is going to be expensive. And we have no money to speak of whatsoever. Huh. That really is a shame. And then after that, we're going to be sent to the prison, or your equivalent of Guantanamo Bay.
I'm sure your belongings will cop up enough to cover the cost if it is.
Oh,
Ooh, that's
no.
asset forfeiture, and you need a warrant to do that, my guy. If these objects have not been used in a crime, and judging from what the person said earlier, we didn't stab them with a spear to death, they were punched, then technically this is not evidence to be seized.
In
Are
your
you coming
face.
or are you
Oh.
not?
The shackles are still on. My answer is certain.
I mean, by this point,
Right, you
Summer's
are.
just on the
And
table
he kind
to
of
try and get away from
looks
the
back
guard.
at the door, and he kind of nods, and you hear like a member of the guard like run off.
Going to waste even more police time, are we?
If you wanted it the hard way, we'll get the big gunners in.
No, I am asking you to do it the easy way. I've asked you multiple times to do it the easy way. Just take them off. I will walk. I think you
Walk
promise.
with them on, or you will not be walking for a while.
Oh, that was a threat.
Break
That
it.
was a threat.
Break
Don't,
it.
Are
don't
there
find me
rules about
closer.
police brutality in Western?
No.
And he leans forward to
See if it's-
you.
wait, I'll check the history section. One sec.
Get out of my bin.
There are rules about it. It's totally allowed. and commonplace.
He leans forward and's like, I'm sure my compatriots will make an exception.
What you're discussing? What's your name?
Kind of just carries on smiling.
No.
Does he have any? Does he have any ranking on him? Like any insignia?
Yep.
Is it? Would it be that of a private?
It's not higher than a lieutenant, but
Okay.
you wouldn't know by this mark.
No.
Sorry.
Do you technically have what's it called? Diplomatic immunity.
How would you have diplomatic immunity?
I am rightful heir to the Urigstan.
Race war!
Oh boy! Sole and rightful heir to the Urigstan tribe. My people are scattered, but they are faithful.
Do you have proof of this lineage?
I flexed.
I'm convinced. Does that give him advantage on any checks?
No.
Okay.
So a little while comes back and you hear the same footsteps of an individual like guard come by, and the individual that enters the room isn't wearing armor, but he's still wearing the shield's colors, and he kind of just raises his hand, and you see like this greenage energy pulsate from his hand, and you feel like a weightlessness to your body, and this happens to you as well, Goplana, as you're both like shackled, and
Do me
kind
too!
of
Do
like
me
now
too!
just like hovering, and it still takes 3 guards to begin to push you and maneuver you out of the door.
I
kind of
starfish
push
as we
you.
approach the doorway.
I start
You
resisting.
can't move. You are completely paralyzed.
Oh, all right. I thought you meant like we were just like floating in the air.
Yeah,
weightless.
you
Okay.
are, but you are completely paralyzed. In like you are frozen, statued.
I mean, I'm sure
Can we
I'm
speak?
still trying to avoid this guard.
Can I start resisting arrest now?
Well, you would probably by this point, by the time it's taken Jirak to waste police time in a sense,
Please time.
and
I was just being polite.
and the fact that you hadn't stated by this point, you would probably already be at the cells, waiting for questioning. Because they didn't wait. They didn't wait to take anyone else.
Well, they managed to get me an O.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Eventually.
Yeah, it was only
Took a
really
while.
Jirak that was kind of being stubborn enough.
I'm not being stubborn. I'm entirely reasonable.
So, given that you bear witness, there are several people that are like watching this weird altercation, and some people are shocked and surprised by this like robed individual that they kind of haven't seen before, kind of holding out his hand with this glowing power, this magical
Can we see his
message from
face?
his hand. Yeah, you can.
It's not Shael, right?
It's definitely not Shael.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Or is it? No, it is. But yeah, you are led unwillingly to the Opal Ward, and you are taken down into a cell-type room. Thanks. Sorry, my wife's just put a Mars bar ice cream down my top. Small glass, please, thank you.
I was about to say Maria, but I think it's a bit late for that.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah, just a bit off.
So yeah, you're taken to this like station within the Opal Ward, and let me take you to it. Sorry. So the restaurant that you was at looks like this one. room that you're currently in. What? Math's right. 7? Come on.
2012.
Shit, I've lost 2 years, guys. I've lost 2 years of my life. Nearly 15 years together, though.
Yeah.
Not 20. You're adding numbers now. Right. Reveal. Okay, so you're placed into this cell with iron bars around it. Each corner of this cell has these tall pillared globes that kind of revert some sort of magical essence from them. The same orange glow that you saw from that little lantern that the guard was holding.
Yes.
You witness that Kega and Eben are on the outside of this cell block that are tied and shackled. They're shackled by their paw each, and the shackle is tied to one of the pillars with a clip to their necks, so they're like almost like they're being on leads. You can see that your weapons have been placed in a holding area off to the side of this room, and there is 2 doors. One is a double door that led you down into this area, and one is a single door that seems to lead into an offside room. And there are a series of guards that kind of bear watch to this going on.
Can I look through the bars at Eben and start like blinking at him? Like really harsh blinks.
Yep. Go ahead and make an animal handling check with advantage.
With what?
Advantage.
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Finally.
Yeah.
So Eben looks at you, and you see the look of like realization of what you're asking of him, and he kind of goes and blinks, and you kind of see him like straining to a point where like a bit of his fur becomes a bit more protruded, like a vein's just popped in his head, and nothing happens.
Aww.
He gives out a meow.
Oh, he died. God damn it.
In the cell there is one bed, a stone like slab, not really a bed, with a blanket and a small like wash tub and a bucket.
Is there any water in it?
There is. It looks like it's been in there for quite a while, and
Can I
probably
pick
used
it up
several
and
times.
chuck it through the bars at one of the guards?
Yeah, you can try. As you pick it up to throw it, it kind of ricochets off of the bar. Go ahead and make a dexterity save, please.
Oh shit.
Yep. You're now covered in human excrement.
Oh no! This is worse than the time when she pissed herself.
Nice.
That might have just made my day.
Let me just find where I am now.
DM,
Yes.
the lieutenant's name, I didn't catch it though.
First Lieutenant Merrick Hasp.
DM,
Yes.
am I small enough to squeeze between the bars?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep, pretty sure.
I'm a tiny child gnome.
Yep, pretty sure. You're not the only gnome that's been possibly arrested in Western before.
And how tall are the bars?
They are to the ceiling.
Right, so there's no one can throw me over either.
No.
Go again.
But it's very dark, very damp. Other than the fires of the fires that are lit around the edges of the building, the walls, and this glow from these like orbs that kind of glow around this cell. And another individual guard comes out, and this guard looks quite young, and kind of begins to unlock the cell door. It's like, Lieutenant Merrick is ready for you. Would you like to come individually or collectively?
Collectively.
Right you are. Please follow me. And you can see
I
that the double
flick some of the
door,
shit
the double door
at
that
him?
will let you in is closed and blockaded. So it's like no one can get in or out at this stage. You flick your like dirt at the young guard
Yeah.
that's just opened the
Don't
gate.
do that. That's
Yeah.
the assault.
Okay. And kind of like looks at his armor, it's like, it took me hours to clean.
And that's what you think it is too.
I didn't do anything to you, I'm just standing watch.
That's what the Nazis said.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck's sake.
The
I
Nazis
said
were a thing in Tal'Dorei, yeah?
a sort of, yeah.
We're about
kind
3
of,
years old.
Yeah. Anyway, that being said, yeah. Try and work out where we are. Okay. I was really hoping you wasn't going to need the mage, but never mind. Okay, so you each enter the room that's offside. So let's move you all into the room.
That dude's tiny.
Yeah, I wonder why he's that small.
Is he a gnome?
No, he's just a token, strong for some
Oh.
reason.
Oh, that wasn't a question. You were actually wondering why he was that small.
Okay. And as you enter the room, there are 4 chairs for you, and you see this well-armored individual with a very similar face looks at you as you enter, and you see the biggest, like, smug, like, grin of I fucking told you so. And it kind of just looks, and then as quick as the grin comes on his face, it kind of goes back to a very, like, straight, poised, regimental look. And he places something on...
Is this the dude from the
from
gate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does your mama come for conjugal visits?
He before you manage to get that out, he places something on the table, and it seems to have like a series of dials on it, like almost like a gauge. And to start off with, the gauge seems to point in a direction to the first chair, which would be where Goplana is sat.
Anna's
And
been
as-
sulking since she was made to like float her way across the town.
As you go to say what you say, Clarence, no words come out.
This bullshit again.
And he, like the lieutenant kind of looks at you as you move your lips, and he's kind of like looks. Let me see if he's good enough that he can probably read what you said. Probably not. Okay. So, there's my questions, answers. Kind of looks at you, Goplana. Looks at you, Jirak, the newcomer. Quickly looks at Clarence and just kind of looks back at you, Goplana. So, if you have nothing to hide, you'll be free to go.
Ironic.
I'm sure you want to be gone as soon as we're done, and if everything goes smoothly, we can have you on your way.
I don't know about that. I've been threatened with police brutality today, so
I will look into that, providing
Anyway.
that the truth is given.
It was. They didn't seem to like the truth.
There's no sound coming out of your mouth, Jarek.
I'm mouthing it and making dead eye contact with him. He's been reading my lips.
Kind of looks and like clicks like a dial and moves it to you, Jirak. You were saying?
I wasn't.
Moves it back to Goplana. Can I start by taking your names, please?
can't tell.
We can start. Let the record see on the 9th day of Cusa, the investigation and murder into the murder of the body found the same day in the market ward. Body is yet to be identified. So, where have you travelled from?
It's gone. There's no point in me answering. I'm here now. So, next.
Why did you come to Western?
With these dipshits.
You followed them directly or as a group?
Group.
So you travelled alongside them. You didn't follow them. You was alongside them.
Semantics aside.
You are a collaborative. You work together, do you not?
I like to think of us as business associates.
Who do you work for?
Me.
And are you a member of the clasp?
Fuck off, am I?
Are you?
For the record, please present your hands.
I'm gonna raise both of my hands, but flip him off.
That's
As
what
if
I was going to do. I was going to raise a finger. Can I do that thing that Peter Quill does in in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Can you tell me of your events, of what occurred in the market ward this afternoon?
Some shithead stole my gold. Followed him. Got my gold back. Last time I saw him, he was alive and well. Next.
Kind of moves the dial. You, Tiefling. Your name.
My name.
Say
Summer.
winter. Say winter.
You're a cunt.
Sorry, I didn't hear what name you gave him.
I'm gonna go winter.
Where have you travelled from?
I don't think that's important.
It's important if you want to get out of here, and if you insist on wasting my time even further, you'll be going back to the cell with your friends. Now
How
stop
about
playing
I
games
can
and act like
tell?
adults.
The friend?
Like I said, I travelled from hell. She just have this big old cocky grin on her face.
And your friends travelled with you all the way from hell, did they?
They do seem the type to belong there.
It seems that each of you and your friends, at least, have had the misconception that I am someone to be messed around with. Now, I enjoy a joke as much as the last person. But when it comes to a crime that's been committed in my city, it is
I
no
don't remember
laughing matter.
the crime, unfortunately for you.
Why did you come to Western? Apart from my recollection of you approaching the doors with a dead body, which I can only assume was an altercation outside our city walls.
Actually, I wasn't carrying the body, so you can't pin that one on me.
You are a collaborative. You work together, therefore you are a group. You each take responsibility for each other's actions while you are collaborating. Why did you come to Western?
We had bits and bobs we needed to do.
Such as?
That, my sir, is classified information, I'm afraid.
And what jurisdiction or identifiable marks do you have to be of any sort of law enforcement or secret body to prevent it from being answered?
I think your mother gave me permission, actually.
Oh,
Do not toil with me, child. This is not a time for games. You are being accused of murder.
I mean, I never murdered anybody. Not inside Western, anyway.
We have several witness accounts now that have come
That
forward
I
from the
chased
altercation
him.
this
Yep,
morning of
killed
you
him.
attacking him.
Yes,
He
he
was the
stole
last
from my
person.
friend over there. I chased him down and I got the money back, and he left of his free will, well and somewhat uninjured.
Do you know this individual personally?
No, I've never seen him before.
And he just happened to steal your gold.
He works for the clasp, doesn't he? I'm sure you would know all about that.
Oh, shit.
As a member of the law enforcement here, yes, I am aware of the clasp. And it is true, we have found some identifiable marks of the clasp. Do you work for the clasp?
Do I look like I work for the bloody clasp?
it's the only thing that would link this altercation from occurring in the first place.
A thief. Dead. Yes, he stole some money. That does not mean that I know him. Decided to steal from our group.
Class members don't just die. Unfortunately for us, they're a scourge on this city that managed to get away with many things without our...
Well, then surely the death of one of them shouldn't be that big of a fucking deal.
I put my hand up. Like a...
Kind of looks over, carries on with Summer for a while. Yes, you may be right. But for someone to have the ability just to take down a class member without repercussions, that is a kind of individual that would pique interest, or at least bear questions at if they're able to take down or not even care of the altercations that may be upon them once they kill a class member.
Well, like I
Then perhaps
said,
they are involved with some very serious people themselves.
I mean, I admit that I punched him several times.
In the butt.
Yes. And
So
maybe
assault.
I bit him once or twice. He is a thief.
Did you
Sexual
report the
assault.
crime?
No, I dealt with it my fucking self. Do excuse me for not trusting the guard when they were so racist when I first arrived. It's not the kind of people I would put my trust in.
Can you really not expect them to, when there has been so much hurt and torment from people much similar lineage to yourself?
That is no excuse.
I
Unless you
understand.
have physically watched me commit crimes that my people have been held accountable for, then I expect to be treated with the same amount of respect as anybody else who was to walk through those gates.
Kind of dials back to Goplana. You had something to say?
Yes. Winter over there pummeled this guy and got my money back. He words, and I quote from memory, 20 gold. I have debts to the class. Saying I was going to gamble it. And I replied with, that's my money. If you're looking for a reason why a class member died, might be the first place to look would be the class.
Interesting. And he kind of like notes down on like a side piece of parchment that he has with the quill. So you believe that the class members are responsible for a death of their own?
Yeah.
Kind of moves the dial. You. Half-orc, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
You would be correct in assuming I'm a half-orc.
One of my guards suggested that you had some sort of diplomatic immunity.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe this to be true?
I merely inquired as to whether or not it applied.
Unfortunately, given the circumstances, no, it doesn't. No one has heard of your clan.
It's a shame it took me 2 hours to find out that answer rather than being told there and then.
You really expect a regular guardsman with a small belated promotion to understand the ins and outs of the politics of the realm?
I expect him to be able to give me a straight answer, which unfortunately he was not able to do.
Would this be the same guard that threatened with abuse to one of your colleagues?
I believe all of us. I think his words were towards me, Well, let's just say you won't be walking anytime soon, which was understandably quite an intimidating statement.
Makes another note on the side of his parchment, and he's kind of like got a piece of paper that's underneath his elbow, and he's kind of like writing like almost secretly, like underneath his elbow line where the parchment is rested.
Oh, you also might want to ask him. Just mention the clasp in conversation. His right eye twitched last time we mentioned it. You might want to, there's obviously a nerve there, so you might want to look into that.
What would you have said to make that occur? I wonder.
Don't see how it matters.
It matters if he's a class member.
I can't remember. It was quite a long conversation, I understand.
So, please, let's be back to the questioning. Can I take your name for the record?
Uraj Farsight.
And where have you travelled from?
Pocket dimension, belonging to the druidic clan of the Bramblewood.
On the waves again.
The Jade Druids, I believe. You don't look much like a druid.
Rather presumptive, but no, I'm not.
Well, our guards have one of your weapons made of metal. I've heard druids don't like metal or alloy of any sort.
Metal is not sacred to the earth once it has had the impurities burned out of it. So, no.
So what
You're
would
correct
give
in
you
assuming
the advantage of hailing from a pocket dimension that belonged to druids, the Bramble Woods?
I will be honest, you would have to ask them. The doorway, it's a archway of ivy and stone, sort of just appeared. We walked through it, had a brief conversation that essentially amounted to go quickly. And then second doorway opened, we stepped through, and there we were.
We are aware of such magics.
I
Where
wasn't
had you
until it
have
happened.
come from in order to get to the Bramblewood to begin with?
Craghammer.
You travelled from Craghammer through the Bramblewoods. It's quite a...
It was circuitous. The start of my journey was in Craghammer.
Ah, please, enlighten me. Where did you go from there?
I personally have, Ollie, I don't know the exact route I would have taken, but I describe the walking from Craghammer down, meeting Lana on the way down to Joran, and then...
Okay, so you mentioned that you came from Joran.
I say we went through Joran.
Sure, fair enough. Good enough for me. We had a report from Joran not too long ago. I heard
What did they describe?
An attack. Werewolves, I heard, if you can believe such a thing.
Who did you hear the report from?
One of their captains.
Gormax?
Well, by all accounts, Gormax was inexposed.
Yes.
There was a much younger male who had a promotion. Temporary.
I would request, if you were to be in contact with any captain or any guard really from Joran in the near future, just ask them to describe the group that chased off the werewolves.
Clarence points at himself.
I point at Clarence.
Single-handedly.
Kind of reaches forward, pulls the dial across to you, Clarence.
Hello, I did that. Well, we did that together as a team.
And what is your name?
Clarence, what's yours?
I am Merrick.
Hello, Merrick.
So, you've had running with wolves, werewolves.
At the circus.
Doesn't
It was-
seem
it
like
was-
a location you would usually find werewolves.
That's
I know.
quite the reaction we had when we were watching the circus and werewolves showed up.
Personally, I kind of felt like it ruined the show. I was enjoying it until the werewolves came.
Oh wait, sorry, is the dial on Clarence still?
Yep.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Can you tell me, Clarence,
Yes.
why did you come to Westron? What brought you here?
Giant bears.
Giant bears.
Yes.
You came all the way to Westron to see giant bears.
No. We came by giant bear.
And he kind of
That's-
has like a bit of a
that's-
confused look. It's like,
That's what brought us to Westron. Giant bears.
the only giant bears we know of being through these city walls be of the silver merchants.
Oh, you dick.
Out of character
Hmm.
to the team, but the class we've gone in disguise to just everything's good.
Yeah, so we are not known to have killed
Anyone because they've described themselves as what was his name? It was
Fulgrim and Ovi.
and Ovi.
and yeah. So as far as the silver merchants are concerned, everyone's alive, everyone's well. They've got their silver and gold back.
As far
Yeah.
as the city would be concerned, yes, you're right.
Have I missed anything? Like
No,
integral point
you're
in
spot
this?
on. Out of character, you're spot on.
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out for a second.
Sorry, out of character, you are spot on. Yes.
Okay. Yes, we came with the silver merchants. We were attacked by the class, but we got through.
You turned up many days before them.
Well, we had to run ahead to let them know. That's why we came with the dead body. It was the dead body of the class. We asked you for help, but you were too fixated on the tiefling to offer any assistance.
I must say, days of late have caused me to lose sleep. I wasn't on my best form. For that, I
Oh,
can only apologise.
We're only human. I'm assuming you're a human. I don't mean to, assume races, but we're only human. I'm a gnome, but you're human.
I was going to say, does Clarence think he's a fucking human? That would explain the whole, thinking Shale's his dad, I guess.
So,
The show's a half elf.
Clarence, you've been very
Listen.
forthcoming with your answers, and I appreciate this.
Thank you.
There was also talk about an attack during a festival that Joanne I remember hearing about. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
Is that in Duran?
Indeed.
No, I wasn't. It was these guys helped the town to stop whatever was attacking. I didn't turn up till the next morning. I was on my own little mini adventure.
Kind of quickly, leans back and turns the dial straight back to Jirak. Can you collaborate this information?
Who's that to?
Jirak.
We did fight some. I described it. They were like flaming skulls, weren't they? Or just big flaming bally things.
Yeah, they were
No,
like
the-
skull wisps.
Skull. That's the yeah. I say we fought some spectral skulls floating through the town. If you've heard the sleeping curse that's gripped the village, that'll be the source of it.
Very little information like that has come through. Only the exploits that have caused us to increase security around the city, along with other incidences that may or may not occur.
I will add on to that. The attack was carried out by what we believe to be a human, so you might want to, make sure you really dig down on any humans that enter the city. If one of their kind does something bad, pretty much all of them do.
Clarence snaps his fingers.
Oh yeah, does snapping fingers make noise if
No.
we're...
No, but he does it anyway.
What kind of human?
I'd describe Hufflau. Robed, he had all these chains of staff. Not a very nice guy. Lived underground. Didn't see much of him though.
They all look alike.
This Hufflau.
I don't say his name.
Oh,
I just describe him.
okay. This individual. Did you dispose of him, or
I believe not.
so there's a potential risk of attack?
The people who would be at most danger are very aware of what.
And you wouldn't happen to know who this individual was?
No, don't know.
Any markings? Any resemblance to who he may hail to?
I'd describe the colours of the robe he was wearing, and then maybe like hint at the Crawling King. It was the Crawling King that he had symbols of.
Would you mention that, or just describe that?
I wouldn't say the Crawling King. I'd say like and this symbol with hands on it.
Sure. Kind of notes that down. You've been in the city for a little over a week. Since then, you've been seen where altercations have occurred. One major altercation being the attack on the temple. Can you tell me what you know about this?
We went to the temple, and there had been an attack. We did our best to help the people that had been injured.
Rumours had it that a tiefling was seen leaving the entrance of the Underwalk.
I'm sure there are
individual that was seen attacking this one. Winter, I believe her name was.
I mean,
yes.
Okay.
You're right. It's very peculiar how a tiefling would, or why a tiefling would attack another tiefling, wouldn't you say?
Is it peculiar when a human attacks another human?
Indeed.
Nope.
Violence isn't something we would want to happen, but it does.
I don't think the fact that they're tieflings comes into it whatsoever. If a half-orc punched me in the face, I wouldn't think that he was a traitor. I wouldn't take it in against him. I would just see him as someone who punched me in the face.
It is when there are only 3 tieflings in this city. 1 being here. 2 are work in the market ward, and I have seen their trading licenses. This other I did not see enter the city.
You are but one man. I'm sure there are many entrances and many sleeping men.
And usually we get reports of the types of individuals if they stand out. We did not have such a report. Would you happen to know why such an attack would have been carried out on the temple?
No. I mean, if you want to ask their motive, I would recommend asking the people that were there at the time of the attack, or any of the staff of the temple itself. I'm sure they can give you a very succinct description of the attack itself.
Clarence puts up his hand.
His hand places on the dial and switches to summer. He's like, so, Winter, given that into mind, not as if suggesting that there is any link, but don't you think it's strange why this individual would take focus on attacking you out of all your comrades?
Since he's been talking about Macalith, I think Summer would be very... She looks upset. Like she's about to cry. So she's just sat there silently, trying not to cry.
Kind of reaches behind him and pulls out like a handkerchief with an insignia. moves the dial to Clarence. Yes, Clarence, please enlighten me.
It wasn't tiefling on tiefling action fighting. It was they attacked the temple and then we attacked them. So it just happened there was a tiefling with us. And
You're
anyone in the
saying
temple,
that you're
anyone in the
responsible.
temple. I'm saying that we are the savior of not only Joran but Westeron, and this is how you treat us with such disrespect
You don't even know our names.
because we've lied to you about.
You don't say that bit because I didn't say the first.
He kind of looks and like you can see he's trying to calculate and like plot in his head how everything slots together. And he kind of looks at you all and is like, "There's something you're not telling me. I will get to the bottom of this."
What is it
Although-
you think we're not telling you? I've been nothing but honest with you.
It's true, you've given me more detail than the others.
So
but
what is
there's
it? What is
still
it that you
something
want to
that
know?
doesn't add up.
What doesn't add up? Think about it. Everything I've said has been true. I've not lied to you about anything.
But there is detail missing. I'm sure of it.
Summer's going to slam her fist down on the table to try and get his attention.
Looks at you like there's a weird like awkward pause while he looks at you, and then he reaches and turns the dial to you.
Did it ever occur to you that perhaps the clasp is setting us up?
I'm certain by this point that may be the case, but until we get a coroner's report for sure, you will have to stay in holding. I'm certain it won't take long, and as soon as we get that detail, you'll be released. But I can't risk it. I don't have any proof that you are the saviors of Joran, as you so
And you don't have any proof
saying
that we
that you have.
killed this man. Therefore, you cannot keep us locked up.
I can keep you for 24 hours. And I'm hoping by then I will find out that you're not the ones responsible for the death of this clasp member.
Sorry, can we talk out of character for a second? I just want to make sure I've got some things, some facts in my head right. This Merrick guy, do we suspect him to be a member of the clasp?
As far as I remember, he is pretending to be a member of the clasp to the clasp, but he actually works for the Margrave.
And the Margrave are like a different.
So
the Margrave's like the mayor, basically.
Because Goplana's got her fee, I would give you the information that Merrick is the gate, main gate watcher of Western. He has someone that he is tasked with going undercover and penetrating the clasp. And the meet that Goplana and Summer witnessed is that of the individual telling Merrick that he has infiltrated them and that there is an impending attack. And it will be like soon.
And when we met the class guy, he told us when it was going to be.
No, that was overheard.
No, but when we met the guy who was pretending to be one of the wolves, didn't he tell us that they were going to take over the city by the end of the week?
Yeah, in like a lapse a day way. They didn't directly outwardly say we're going to take over the city in a week. It was kind of be like within a week this place will be overrun kind of thing.
Okay. And did we suspect that was going to be tonight? That's why we were outside.
Your closest calculations is that it could be tonight. But the guard also have that same information. They with the inside person they've got, that's kind of where they were going.
Okay, cool.
Right. Please just bear with us. We'll get to the bottom of this shortly. And he kind of points towards the door, and the door opens, and the fence for the cell is open again. You can each make your way back into the cell. This time they have removed your shackles, and you are now, like, shackle free, but you are within the confinements of the cell room that you was in before. And as you kind of enter back, an individual guard comes down and whispers into Merrick. You can just about hear the conversation. It's not like they're trying to secretly say it, but you do hear the conversation, which is Archives Xenoph is here. He wishes to speak to you about the suspects. And he kind of nods and leaves with him through the same double doors. And after a short while, he comes back and he's like, it would seem that you do have friends in good standing. Not high places yet, but good standing. Xenoph, your friend, is proposing to release you on bail until we have further proof. The guards will return to the cell. We can fill out the paperwork for your release. Won't take but a while. And he kind of leaves out the door again and heads back through where he is. About an hour or so passes. Could you each roll a perception check for me, please?
Is Akavi Xenoth, is that the old elf guy that was at the entrance of the Cobalt Reserve?
He's the librarian, isn't he?
That's the one, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So Clarence. Oh, Jirak. Clarence and Jirak, you begin to feel very small, intermittent vibrations through the ground and the stonework. Suddenly, the guards all rush out of the room, running. As the doors open, you hear shouting and screaming. We're under attack! There's so many! They flew out of the underwalk! And the door closes, and you can hear a series of locks behind the door, and then the gradual footsteps as they lead away. And a moment passes. So let me move these out of the room. You can go. And just as you think that, whatever had happened had kind of gone, an almighty boom as the wall begins to collapse, the exterior wall from within this cell. I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw, please. Oh, that was meant to beat as well.
Sorry, what is this saving throw against?
The collapsing wall.
Yeah.
1, 2. So, Jirak, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage from the rocks and rubble as it falls. Clarence, you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage from the rocks and the walls. Let me just describe the scene before I start moving things around. The falling stones at the exterior wall. The cell is destroyed as the smoke begins to clear. You can see that the pillars that were kind of protecting or magically protecting a barrier around this cell are broken and collapsed. There is a gap in the cell fencing small enough to fit a small person through. And as the dust settles and from the collapse, you see on the outside like the street below, and it's only like about 2-3 foot off the ground, but you see the street below. There are dozens and dozens of imps that are attacking people in the streets. If you wish to make another perception check for me, please.
I turn to Summer and I say, you might want to put a brave face on.
Okay.
She's just going to side eye him.
Everyone except
I
Clarence.
meant it sincerely.
No.
Everyone except Clarence sees that there are a few hordes of individuals out there, and there are both class members and guards, both being attacked by imps. You are currently without your equipment, though, as it's on the opposite side of this fence. But the fence there's a gap in the fence from the collapse that's small enough just for a small person to fit through.
Go on, Clarence.
What do you mean?
Go get our shit.
You're a small person. Go.
But okay.
And
Are
untie the
we
cat.
supposed to stay here? We're going to be released on bail. Aren't we supposed to stay here?
We're being released on bail. That's what's happening right now. That's what on bail means. It's when the wall falls over.
There is as you pass through the gap,
I believe you.
Clarence, there is of course all of your weapons on a like a display unit kind of thing, all like racked up. Your bags and your equipment and stuff is all on a table, and there is a set of keys that look to be like either like shackle keys that may or may not be the way to release Eben and Kega.
Okay.
Also, you meant, sorry, just to
Mhm.
butt in really quick. You mentioned there were like anti-magic pillars somewhere in the room.
Yeah, they've collapsed.
Oh, they've collapsed. Yeah. You said it's like a big orange ball on top. Do they like come loose?
They're probably about the size of you.
Of what? Sorry.
Of you. They're
Oh,
extremely
right. I was thinking like a basketball. Okay,
No,
right.
no.
Maybe not that then. Oh, we could roll it out the window and just smash a load of imps. Like
It's an option, isn't it?
in Indiana Jones situation.
So from your wall, you should be able to see. So once you get all your stuff, I'm guessing, given the hints and clues, you release Kega and Eben, Clarence.
I do.
Okay.
I don't release the team though.
Well, you've not all of you haven't got.
Yeah, I walk away with Kega and Eben.
Where are you
never to
walking
be
away
seen.
to?
Never to be seen again. Into the sunset.
I don't think Kega's going to go with you, to be honest.
Kega loves it.
I know, yeah, she's fully for it, yeah.
The door that was the entrance to this lower sort of cell area is blockaded. So the only exit would be through that cell wall that's collapsed.
Can Kega fit through the hole?
Yeah, just about.
So
where cats can kind of almost like the way that their bones can like move sort of within its body, almost like a contortionist. She just manages just about to squeeze through. Just. But the outside of the building on the streets looks like this.
That's a lot of imps.
Oh yeah.
So
And they're not the
They're only
only things that seem to be attacking individuals. There seems to be a few like flesh looking like, I don't even know a good way of describing them, but they're clearly, Summer would know them as hellhounds.
Ooh, yeah.
And you can see that there are imps and these hellhounds attacking both class members, and you can see that you can kind of now kind of get like a stereotype of what they are to look like. You can see the tattoos on their hands. You can see that they wear like very dark, leathery, hooded like garbs and gear equipment. The guards obviously wearing the shield armor, the shield guard armor and such. But who do you save or what do you do?
Well, first of all, Summer's gonna look around to see if she can see her brother.
Okay.
See if he's part of the mix-up.
You can roll perception if you like.
Fuckity-doo.
Nope.
Nope.
Just imps and hellhounds at this stage.
Brilliant.
And actually, as it is now 10 o'clock, and we're just about to get into battle, I think it might be a good place to stop.
I really wanted to kill some imps.
Well, you can next time.
So I really wanted to try out my new hammer.
Oh no, I'm not here next week.
Oh no. Hold on. Give me a sec. We'll do one round of attack if you all want to roll initiative.
The yellow characters are guards, right?
Yep.
And the red are clasp.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh shit, I need to do that.
Okay.
Shut up, cat.
Okay. So as you all jump down from the collapsed wall above, Clarence, you kind of, with your height, you have to jump onto a big part of the rubble, and you kind of use that as a platform at this stage.
Yep.
And as you do so, an imp flies towards you and stops right in front of you and starts like almost like screaming and like growling at you as much as an imp would, like a very horrified like bat sound.
I'm gonna hit it,
Do it.
but first of all, it makes me very angry.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna attack it recklessly.
Mhm.
17.
A 17 will hit.
Yes. 14 points of damage.
Okay.
Shit.
As you swing your maul, you hear like an echo of a bell, like a boom, but it's almost like muted in a way, as this imp just turns to pulp, and you look at your maul, and it's spotless.
Damn fucking straight it is. Can I I'm gonna kiss my maul, and then what is that? 15 feet. Can I jump 15 feet?
What's your speed?
Strength is speed is 35.
Strength is
16 plus 3. I'm the weakest barbarian ever.
You could jump it, but he's off the ground. So you would be jumping, attacking, and landing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to do.
You're about 5 feet off the ground currently.
So I've got the trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Will you allow it?
Go for it.
Safe. Again, part of my reckless. 21.
Yep.
17.
Yeah. Same thing. You just come down on it, and you kind of, as you jump and you hit it with your maul, almost like in a hammer fashion downwards, you hit the ground, and blood just splatters in like every direction, and you can see underneath your mole like the wings of this imp like twitching and stops.
And
Your
then I'm
mole
gonna turn.
is still spotless.
I'm gonna turn to Summer and say, "Did you see? Did you see what it did? Did you see?"
Okay. Anything else?
That's me. No, that's everything. Thank you.
Okay. One, two, three, four. Yeah, four. Can't quite get you. One, two, three. Two, three. Okay, so we have Clarence 20.
That hits.
That is 4 piercing damage, 9 poisoning damage. Oh wait, sorry, it's 4 piercing damage, and you need to make a Constitution saving throw. DC 13.
Okay. 8.
Oh, you
I
take
failed.
9 points of poisoning damage.
Yep.
And 11 for Jirak. What's Jirak's say? Sorry, Kega's AC now?
Let me just double check.
That's 12, I think. So I think that misses.
13.
Oh, it misses. And 15 for you, Summer.
Yeah, that hits.
7 points of piercing damage. Can you also make a Constitution saving throw DC 15? DC
Constitution.
13. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So you take 4 points of poisoning damage opposed to the 8 because it's halved. And the one that comes in front of you, Goplana, screeches at you and disappears from sight.
Reach back.
Kind of, you see it, and then it kind of becomes like incorporeal, so it's like translucent and then gone. So, Kega.
Right. First of all, AC is 15, not 13. Sorry, I forgot that I added proficiency bonus, so I've been missing out on AC for some time.
Nice.
I am in base-to-base contact with that one there, right? Or Kega is.
Which one? Sorry, say again.
The one like directly.
Yep, that one.
Directly.
Yep.
Yeah, that is like opportunity attack range.
Yep,
Cool.
Definitely.
Okay, so Kega is going to turn around and she's going to hold her action to bite a motherfucker, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's going to get ready to, and then just basically as soon as I cast Hunter's Mark on a creature, she's going to bite at it.
Nice. Okay.
Which then goes to Jirak, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, first of all, cast Hunter's Mark
Yep.
on the one that's right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I add that. 1 sec. Hunter's Mark. These are definitively not beasts. So I'll have Kega go first. Wait, what? Why does she only get +6? I think she gets more than +1. No, I've got the other one wrong. Sorry. Right. Untick that. There we go. Right. Yeah, so 23, unless she has advantage for whatever reason,
Okay.
for a total of 15 points of piercing damage.
It's enough. With a bite, she manages to catch this imp in her maw and just like shake her head and tears bits off of it as she just shakes violently.
Good girl. And then I am going to stab the one, I think, next to me in Summer.
Mm-hmm.
What? Actually, can I? No, because it's already dead. I can't move the Hunter's Mark this turn either, as well, can I?
No.
No. Okay, I have to wait for next turn for that. I will attempt to stab this one, and my spear is silvered.
Mm-hmm.
13.
13, yeah.
Oh, nice. 17 points of piercing damage.
Nice, yeah. As you like stab it with your spear, you kind of almost skewer it, and kind of like midair, you've got like the point of your spear through its chest, and it kind of just looks at you. The eyes dull over, and as you thrash back your spear, it kind of just like drops to the floor with a splodge.
I turn to the nearest guard and go, "You thought we were the bad guys," and that's the end of my turn.
Not all of them thought you was the bad guys, just FYI.
It was mostly for myself than them. But...
Okay, so the bandits will try and attack. Scimitar. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, one of them. You see, one of the one of the class members attacks one of the imps, does kill it, but he kind of then tries to like run away from the hound, and as he does, the hound like pounces on him and starts biting the rear of his thigh. And the other two are still like swinging wildly with their scimitars in the air at the other imps that are sort of flying around them. Summer.
Summer is going to move, so she's over here.
Mm-hmm.
First off, she's going to look down at, I take it as the class member who tried to run away from the thing, from the
He's
hellhound.
kind of this one up here. He's like his thigh is currently being like gnawed at by this hellhound.
Yeah, she's just going to look down at him. She's going to smirk and flip him off because she does not give a shit. She's fucking happy.
Is that
And
your
then
bonus action?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
And then she's going to attack this imp in front of her.
Okay, go for it.
11?
No.
No, I'm going to use my extra attack.
Mm-hmm.
to try and hit it again.
Mhm.
24.
24 hit.
10.
10 is its HP. So yeah, you manage to
Lovely.
whack it with your stick, and each of you can kind of almost hear like that really wooden. Okay, the guards. Oh shit. The guard by you, Summer, goes to stab the imp next to him with a spear, completely misses, kind of looks back at you with like sheer panic, and the one behind you lot manages to stab that one, but only through the wing, not enough to kill it outright. And the one down here manages to kill that imp. And again, much like the class member did, he attempts to run from the hellhound, and the hellhound grabs onto him and starts like biting at his chest, and you can hear like the scraping of the metal armor as it's almost like a tin can being crushed as he's trying to bite his way into his chest cavity. Got planner.
You know these yeah.
Sorry, yep, they're the class members.
Yeah, do I recognise either of them?
No, I mean they just look, as far as you're concerned at this stage and this distance, they look like generic like ruffians that are marked with the clasps tattoo.
Okay. Are we outside?
Yep.
Fantastic. I am going to level 3, and I would like it to hit right in between these guys by here, so it gets all 4 of them, 3 of them even.
Okay. What is it? 15, 125.
It is. Hang on.
So that's the class member and the two either side
Yeah.
of him, or all of. So him.
It might
him,
even
and
get.
him. Is it a radius or is it a? Oh, yeah. If you did it. If you did it that way, you could probably get all 4 of those there, because they are much in a line. These ones.
Oh, it's a 5-degree radius. No, I put it on.
Okay.
Call lightning, not lightning bolt. It's an AoE, not a line.
Okay.
It's Dex throw.
Yeah. Okay. It'd be them 3 then. Okay. So Dex. Let's do that. So the first one fails. The second imp succeeds. The class member fails. So what's that? 12.
12, and then 12, and then 6. Going to say, oh, let's stay in let's stay in Westeron. It's great. It will be such a good time. We don't have to leave it. We have so much to do here.
I mean, given like your guys' tactical like knowledge through previous histories as well, you can tell that this attack seems like it may have happened like during an impending attack, so there was clearly something in place, because there wouldn't be many class members just randomly in the opal ward for no reason. It's almost like the attack was about to happen and then this fucking happened.
Doesn't mean she's not bitter though.
Well, the class member did die by your hand.
Oh, okay.
And so did one of the imps.
Oh.
Okay, so the Hellhound will continue to gnaw on. I wonder if he can kill him. Do. Hellhound. Wait. Submit. Oh, that was lucky for him. Even though one of them seems to be like they're both clearly attacking individuals, one a class member, one a guard. The one that's attacking the guard can't quite penetrate the armor, so fails that, but the one that's attacking the class member, holy shit, you do not want to get bitten by these. He just outrightly dies, and you can see as this Hellhound is biting into him, there's like flames coming from its jaw and its teeth, and the leather gear that the class member is wearing is like catching fire all around his thigh, and it just bursts into flame. Clarence.
Clarence. He's gonna attempt to practice.
Okay. Ooh, fail, miss.
He will recklessly attack again.
Okay, that'll hit.
12 points is the mark.
Yep, 12 is enough. Kind of swing at it, miss, so you go in for like an undercarriage and
I'd like to think the momentum sort of swings him round again.
Yeah. And you kind of hit, and as you hit this imp, you hear it splodge against your maul, but it just flies off in the distance and disappears from sight. Clearly is dead while it's flying through the air as you've hit it. Again, your maul is spotless from any blood.
It's good to know. So saves me on cleaning, and then I'm gonna run forward and engage with Beautiful.
Okay, go ahead. So the imp's turn. The imp that was by... Oh, let me do the rolls. Let me do the movements. One there. One there. One there. One there. One there. Goes to attack him. Okay. Okay, so first one at you, Goplana. You're kind of preoccupied by what's going on. Does a 17 hit you?
Yep.
So out of nowhere, you feel a sharp sting as the one that disappeared from sight reappears, causing you 7 points of piercing damage. And if you'd like to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 13.
Just a question. Torak gave us temporary hit points. Are they still in place?
Yes. That's also 15 points of poisoning damage.
Much?
15, 1-5.
Jesus.
Sorry. And Jirak. So 24 to hit Jirak.
That'll do it.
And that is 6 points of piercing damage. Make Constitution saving throw.
Constitution.
Oh, nice. 6 points
Flex
of
the
poison
poison.
damage rather than 12.
Okay. That was, sorry, did you say 3 points of piercing or 5?
That's 6 points of piercing
6 piercing.
and 6
And-
poisoning opposed to 12.
Lovely. Right.
The 13 to hit on the first attack there, Clarence.
13 misses.
22.
That misses. That hits. Sorry.
So the 19.
19
Yep.
points of damage.
No. 19 for the third hit because there's 3.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that hits as well.
Okay.
Scared the shit out of me for a second.
Sorry, dude. So it's 5 points of 11 points of piercing damage total.
Yep.
And if you want to make 2 Constitution saving throws.
I'm just going to roll with advantage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yep. So that is one lot and the other lot both succeed. So that is 5, 10, 12 points of poison damage total.
12 points of poison damage total.
Yeah, opposed to 24.
Okay.
Okay, and I think that's everyone there. They attack.
For the first time ever, Clarence is blooded.
Although your maul is spotless.
Yeah.
The ones that are going to attack him. He goes to there. He goes to there. He goes to. Oh yeah, he goes to there. So all the imps around the guard and the remaining clasp do attack, and you could see that the attack is quite brutal and they seem to take quite a lot out of them. Kegger's go.
Okay. Let's see. I think Kegger is going to. Probably run around this side, around here, so as to help Lana, and try and bite the impy bastard.
Yeah, go for it.
Don't have Hunter's Mark on that one, so just bite.
Just move him a little bit.
20.
Yeah, 20 will hit.
9 points of piercing damage.
Ooh. Bite it enough, but as Kegger bites it and like whips it around, it kind of gets loose and it's just about hanging on there in flight. You can tell that one of its wings is severely damaged, but just about holding in there.
Okay. And then on my turn,
Yep.
I'm going to use my bonus action to focus my Hunter's Mark on the one I'm stood next to.
Yep.
And then stab it with a spear.
Go for it.
22.
Yeah.
For 12 points of piercing damage.
That's more than enough. Yep.
Lovely.
Splat.
And then I think after that I'm going to run over to this dude here with a shield. Let's see, there's I can get Well, count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll go over this way, and I'll shout to anyone who's listening. If you have a spear and a shield, get your bloody backs to a wall, you retards. And then, I am my turn.
Okay. Bandit. Is there only one bandit alive left? Oh, that escalated quickly. Oh, miss. You see the flailing scimitar in the air from the bandit, completely missing the imps around him. Summer.
I'm going to run over to this hellhound. Oh, I'm in the hellhound. And I'm gonna whack it with my quarterstaff and attempt stunning strike.
Yep, so that yep, that'll hit. So what is it? Is it a save?
Target must
Constitution.
receive a con save.
Huh, 5. Fails the throw. Takes the 11 points of damage.
And then I'm going to attack it again. Oh, where am I going?
Nope.
And then I'm just gonna try and punch it in the jaw.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
Okay. Even though your attacks and the lacerations you're causing to this hound, it's taking damage, but it still doesn't seem to be like really bad. I mean, it looks grotesque, but it still looks really grotesque. It's hard to know how much damage you're actually causing. Guard is going to attack. 1, 2, 3 guards. One hit. Miss. Oh, for God's sake, 2. Yeah, so one attacks with his spear and is like, can do a little help here, as he's kind of like jabbing at this imp and doing barely any damage. And the other guard behind him swings wildly with his spear and is like, little busy. Gaplana.
I would like to put a thunderbolt right, whatever it was, right by here, so it gets 4 of the buggers.
Yeah. So that was Dex throw, isn't it? Oh, that's a fail. 9's a fail. That's 2 fails so far. Oh, success. 1 success from the imp. 2 of the imps succeed. The class member and 1 of the other imps fails. So it's 23 points. So that one dies. And the class member also dies. Oh, good job. Anything else from you, Godplanner?
It got me. Is it still? Oh, it is still alive. I'm gonna
Yeah.
poison it.
Okay.
I remember if they're fine with poison or not, but I'm gonna give it a go anyway.
Mhm.
Pointed it into some poison damage.
Let me just see its immunity. So I don't think it has any, but we'll have a look. Oh yeah, yeah. You spray it and it kind of just like looks at the spray on itself and just looks at you. You can see that its face is mangled from the abuse that it got from Kegger, but kind of doesn't look phased at all by the fact you just sprayed poison on it.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Still sulky though.
The Hellhound is going to continue to attack. Oh, well, that one being dead is going to turn and face Summer and attack Summer. The other is going to continue to attack the shield guard at the bottom. Hellhound. One, two. So the Hellhound in front of you, Summer, looks and it begins to bare its teeth, and it like goes to like bark, but instead it exhales a fire in a 15-foot cone around you. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 12. Good, nice. It's half as much damage, 6d6. 6 d6. Oh Christ, go away. 22, so that's 11 points of fire damage.
What was that? You cut out a little bit.
11 points of fire damage.
Well, I do believe that I am resistant to fire damage.
So it's halved again.
2, 6 or 5.
We'll go to 6, that's fine.
Okie dokie.
Then the other one is still trying to penetrate the shield guard's armor. It isn't quite getting through. Fortunately for him. Clarence.
Gonna start swinging.
Okay.
Recklessly, obviously. So,
Sure.
yep. And that's me done.
One. So that's two of them dead. Yeah, cool.
Have you been giving them advantage against me?
No.
Hello?
Why?
They get advantage against me.
Oh. Not on their saves though.
No, attacks against
On
me.
attacks. Yeah, well they have advantage anyway because they're
because they're flanking.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry dude.
It's alright.
And this one. 1, 2, 3, Okay, one of you. One of the imps around the guard almost like vanishes from sight, Jirak. The one around you, Clarence, disappears from sight, kind of goes translucent and then disappears from sight. Two from there do the same. And I think that's that for that, so then it's just those two. It's 1, 2, 2. Holy shit. One misses, the other does not. Oh, that's not too bad. Well, he was lucky. 4. So one off by back here kind of falls to one knee as he's stung by the imp at the back here. Kigger?
Okay. This one is still alive, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Kegger will attack it.
Okay. Yep, it's dead.
Cool. She spits out. It tastes like shit.
Yep.
And then he is going to who's in? I think she's going to make her way towards that hellhound.
Okay.
So 1. Can get there. Close enough. No way. It's going to be our turn.
Okay. Your turn.
And Jirak is going to I think he's going to bonus action Hunter's Mark this, move to the one behind the guard.
Yep.
Run over, try and stab it.
Yep.
30 points piercing damage.
That'll do it.
Okay. And then I don't know if this was action or whatever, but I'm going to try and like shove that guard towards, like earlier, back towards the wall.
Okay. So you help.
How to fight
trying
with
to
the
help
spear and
protect
shield.
him against or out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, because I obviously saw that one went invisible, attack Lana.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the same thing
Okay.
here.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I want to like body block, say, get you back to the wall.
Yeah, sure. No worries.
Jabbed in. Cool. And that's my turn.
Wonderful. Bandit's dead. Summer, please.
I want to grab the hellhound's like paws and try and like pry it apart until it fucking snaps.
So you're trying to grab it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a strength check for me, and if your strength is higher than its AC, we'll see what you do.
Oh shit.
No. No, it's you go to put your hands in its mouth to like tear it apart as it's kind of baring its teeth to you, and it's just, even with your resistance to heat, it's hot. It's like it's still like too much for you to kind of be like, yeah, I don't want to touch this kind of thing.
Fuck it, I'll just do my extra attack and try and smack it
Yeah, no worries.
with a quarterstaff. 17.
Yep, that'll hit.
4.
4
And
points of
then
damage.
I want to spend another KI point to flurry of blows.
Mhm.
Fuck.
21 will hit though. points. That's really low damage. I'm surprised about that. Okay. As you give your onslaught of attacks, you can hear "For Westron" in the background as you see three individuals, one of which being Merrick, leans forward with his longsword and slices down on the hellhound, slicing its head clean off its body. You can see a series of other guards at the rear helping to attack this other hellhound as they try and clear the area of the impending plague on Western. The other two, one of which you would recognize as being Xenoth, the archivist of the Cobalt Soul, the other being much more regal. You've not seen him before, and as the hellhounds are diminished, kind of Merrick's like, he was right. I solemnly apologize for my misconceptions of you all. It seemed that not only have the clasp shrouded my judgments, but negative history has caused me to be judgmental to those that have yet to prove themselves. But Archivist Xenoff has said that you hope to train underneath the Cobalt banner, and many of you are indeed the people that you say you are. I apologize. Please, I hope it's enough. It seems that some scourge has escaped through the sewers of the Underwalk. We don't know where they've come from, but we can only think that the city is being secretly exposed to something. Perhaps with your skill set you're able to help us figure out what this is and stop it once for all. I've brought along Margrave Zimmerset. Let him know that you, of course, are capable individuals, and now we see that you are. We thank you for your aid in our guards. Not only have you helped our forces, but you've weakened the forces of the Clasp that had hoped to also attack this day. And kind of looks to you all like you can see that there's like a genuine like poise about his direction to you all.
I would like to step forward.
Mm-hmm.
Soon we'll go over there and say, like, make sure you're not the only who knows. Avoid the unpleasantries of yesterday.
We will look into this. This is not our general practice.
I think you should have a parade for us.
I don't know if that's
Let's
just like the
deal
opposite
with-
of a post.
Let's deal with the matter in hand, and I'm sure that the city will be grateful if you are able to help. And the like very regal looking individual steps forward and like looks at Merrick and is like, "You sure these are them?" And he kind of nods. It's like, rumor has it that you've helped Not once on this day, but on others as well. I heard a rumor, several in fact. You are those that call themselves the Wait,
Temps.
what was it? The grave diggers? No, that wasn't right.
That's our
The
the traveling undertaker.
Yes, and you're Jirak. What was that lady saying? Jirak the.
Sexy.
I apologize.
I strike a pose.
We're talking about the dwarf from the blacksmiths, yeah?
Yeah, word's gotten around.
I'm generous.
That's a fucking lie.
Well, nevertheless,
What, she
it seems that
told
many
me?
are talking about you already. I had to see for myself the individuals that I would have to at least bestow my gratitude to. It seems that you're doing good in this city.
I'd just like to say they're not rumours if it's true. If it's true, it's the truth.
You've been learning, Clarence.
Yep.
That's good.
You've taught me well.
You must be Clarence, the kind, I believe. The
clever. Clarence the clever.
Don't listen to anything that comes out of his mouth.
It was kind, and so we.
So, it seems that the streets have calmed, but I fear that the danger is still a threat that we have to be cautious of. Will you help aid the city once more?
I think we were leaving town, actually.
Yeah, I got a bounce.
Yeah. Got a
Bye.
thing. I've got a thing.
What's in it for us?
If we have the tank, we have a parade.
If you succeed in working out whatever this is that's causing these attacks and deal with it, I'm sure that we will have much to celebrate.
We can get it in right later. Just unspoken. Right. Where are the rest of the imps then? It tells me that not all of them were localized to this street and this street alone.
No, the whole city was under siege. Fortunately, our guards, some of them much talented, and a few other adventurers similar to yourself with skill sets of their own, but none seemed to shine. They were able to clear the streets, but I fear it's only a matter of time before more return. Last we heard is that there was a spill from the Underwalk in the Opal sector, not far from here.
Are you aware of what?
Yeah, I think the imps aren't your only problem, though.
No. We still have the matter of the clasp to deal with.
Yeah.
I kick over corpses.
For now, I think they may have retreated into their holes once again until they're able to reinforce and restructure and plan for a further attack in the future. But for now, I would think that their force has been damaged enough that they don't pose a risk at this stage.
Well, if their forces have been damaged enough, maybe this is the time to wipe them out.
The issue is finding out where they are. There are many secrets in this city, and finding them is an issue.
We know where they are.
You do?
We have ideas.
We followed them
Yes.
to one of their hideouts in the forest.
We've got a good idea anyway.
Also, the Greys, but I'm sure you already said that's like front.
That's where you picked us up. We were staking out the Grey's Knee when your fuckos arrested us.
Be respectful.
The Grey's Knee is not an establishment that the clasp are responsible for. We know that the Gray's Knee is responsible for a renowned fight club. Many go there and test their wills against each other's.
Well, it's a front for the class.
If you
learned
can
something
find
today.
proof, that would be much appreciated.
They have a Dragonborn. Clearly a den.
I mean, you've not trusted us before and thought we were lying, and then this has happened. Maybe you should have some faith in us and just shut the place
Your
down.
prejudice is showing.
I do have faith. However, such an establishment, if is in the wrong, could cause the city a great deal of tax.
Well, then we'll just have to prove to you that our suspicions are correct.
So-
And I'm
so
sure you
tax is-
will. I have faith
so-
in that.
Tax is more important than your citizens' safety.
What do we call you?
I'm Margrave Zimmerset. My family for generations has been responsible for the upkeep and the care of Westron. I do not know what has caused this scourge to flood our cities. I have much to learn about what could have caused it. Something tells me the attack on the temple may have something to do with it. But
To by fiend. Very likely.
perhaps you have information?
Again, you're going to get more of that out of the people who work. They know what they damaged or stolen better.
If only we knew what or why they were here in the first place. If they stole something, surely they would have just left the city. There's got to be something more to it.
Unless they didn't succeed
By all accounts, something was
trying to steal.
By all accounts, something was definitely taken. That was sure.
Well, maybe they're just looking.
Who knows?
Something relates to it.
Sometimes
Probably.
devils do this just for pure entertainment.
Well, they're all coming from. Do you believe under the
Well, it's getting on. I must check the rest of the quarters. I bid you good day.
Sorry, Margaret, before you go,
Yes.
do you know how to unpossess a sword?
Unpossess.
Yes. Just asking for a friend.
Is it cursed or is it possession?
Is it cursed or possessed?
You already know more about it. It's
Sorry, you're breaking up. I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, Ollie, you broke up a lot there.
Oh, sorry. He already knows more about the sword than we do. By the distinguish between those two things.
Who does?
The Margrave. He said, "Is it possessed or cursed?" I mean, he knows the difference between those two things, which I don't think any of us actually do.
Well, if it's cursed, then a remove curse should do the trick. If it's possessed, then it needs to be exercised.
Is there a sword gym?
Exorcism
bad.
is different to that. And I'm sure you would know the difference between a gym exercise and exercising good and evil if required. Being a worshipper of Ioun there, I see.
I'm a paladin.
That I'm sure you are. Please, when you have a moment, seek out my home. I have a cleric that may be able to help if it's a curse. And if it's possessed, let's just hope that it's not something too sinister.
No, it's been okay so far. And where's your house?
You
said
do too. Thank you for your time.
Indeed. And he kind of turns, and as he turns, he's like cape kind of spins with him, and he kind of like walks off, and he's like checking other guards, and guards talking to him, and he's kind of like directing where they need to go and carrying on. I think, guys, for now, it's time to call it a night.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm glad you thought so.